Everybody, Dr. J here with another life coaching lesson session, whatever you want to call it. Thanks again for sharing my videos and thanks again for tuning in. I hope you're learning something and I hope you're growing. We're all growing together. So today we're going to be talking about people who give up before they even get started. Now that might sound strange to some of you, but I run into a lot of people who have really great ideas. They have everything in their mind about how they want to do it, and then they get so overwhelmed because they get caught up in their head that they give up before they ever even get started. So I'm going to give you some tools. Again, you know how I'm always saying we got to put the tools in our toolbox. Today I'm going to give you some tools on how not to give up before you get started, and reasons why people do it. Okay, so one of the first reasons that I won't say the first, but one of the reasons people give up is because, again, like I said, people will talk and talk about they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to do the third, and they get so excited that they overwhelm their own selves, and then by the time it's time to execute the plan, they just give up and let it go. They abandon their own project. You can't do that. And we're going to talk about how to work through it so that doesn't happen. Another thing that happens is that, a lot of times when we're working on something, we have a tendency to tell everybody what we're doing. And then you get all of these varying opinions from people. Well, I think you should do that, or I don't think you should do this. And it just goes back and forth. And sometimes it gets to the point where people hear the negativity more than the positivity, and they allow that to fester and grow, and they take it on and they abandon their project. Don't listen to what other people say. And my advice to you is, when you're working on something, be quiet. Everybody doesn't need to know what's going on. All right. Another thing that happens is that sometimes people look at their past failures. We talked about that in one of the life coaching sessions last week. People look at their past failures, and because of past failures, that always comes into play when they're about to step out to do something. They always start thinking about how what they did before didn't work, or when they had a partner, this happened, or one person told me, every time I work with females, I fail, and so we start, thinking about all of these things, and these things will take a life of their own and cause you to abandon your commitment to what you decided you wanted to work on and what you feel like is your purpose. You will actually abandon it. Another thing that happens is that it's easier sometimes for people to just say, forget it. I know I said I was going to do it, but you know what? I forget that one. I'm going to go on and work on something else. And what people don't realize is you can abandon this plan and you can say that you're going to go and work on something else. But guess what? You're going to abandon that too, because you're a runner. And you don't know how to stand still and just deal with what you have in front of you. Stop running. Stand still. And some people just lack the discipline, because whenever you're making plans to do something, especially people who are wanting to be entrepreneurs, it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of sleepless nights. It takes a lot of not being able to do some of the things that you want to do. It takes money. And so some people just lack the discipline to hang in there. And they just feel like, you know what, this is too much. It's easier for me to just go back to what I was doing. But when you do that, you abandon your project, and you never know who or what you could have become. Don't do it. And then we deal with a lot of distractions. We get distracted easily. We're thinking we have this really great idea that we want to do, that we want to work on, and all of a sudden you can go online, you can go on YouTube, you can talk to people, and you're like, oh my goodness, but they're doing this. Maybe I should work on this. Or maybe I should figure out how to do this a little better than they're doing. So we get to the point where we get distracted. This thing, whenever you're working on something, it requires all of your time, your attention, and especially your focus. You can't get sidetracked looking at what other people are doing and what other people are working on. Guess what? That has nothing to do with you. Focus on what you want to do and what's been purpose for you to do. And also make sure that you believe in yourself. I can't stress that enough. And I probably just sound like such a broken record. Y'all probably saying, here she goes again. Here it's coming, it's coming. But believe in yourself. If you don't believe in what you're doing, guess what? Nobody's going to do it. There are very few people who are going to run up to you and grab you by the hand and say, you know what? I believe in you. Let's go do this. I'm going to invest all of this money in your plan. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I hate to burst a bubble. It's not going to happen. You have to believe in what you're doing so much. Believe it as much as you believe in the fact that you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and you're going to be breathing and you're going to be doing well and you're going to be moving forward. Believe in what you're doing. I don't care if you feel like you're the only one that believes in it. Believe in it. Work on it. Push it. Go for it. Do the things, the necessary things that you need to do to formulate this plan and put everything in place to get it going. That is so important. Believe in yourself and your abilities and your capabilities. Don't wait for somebody to believe in you. Believe in yourself. And I want to go back and just give you some encouragement, and I want you to write these things down if you can, if you want to. But what should you do if you get to that place in life where you feel like you want to give up? Well, the easiest thing that I would say to you is don't do it. Okay, I know that sounds very simple, but don't do it. Don't give up. What you're going through is temporary, and it's going to take time, and you have to allow your time to go through the process, to grow, to make mistakes, to stand up, to fall down, because it's a new venture. You know, you could be buying a house. I've done that before, and that's a lot. And so there's so many things that you have to go through, but if you give up every time before you even get started, you're never going to get anywhere, and you're just going to be in the same place all the time. That's not healthy, and it's not fun, because all of us have so much deep down inside of us to do, and you just have to tap into it, and you have to work hard. You got to do the work to get to where you need to be. So yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable, but allow yourself to go through that discomfort. Allow yourself, you may cry sometimes. Depression might come on you, but you got to allow yourself to go through all of these emotions in order for you to grow. Okay. The other thing is always tell yourself, I'm not giving up. I don't care what people say. I don't care if you don't believe in me. I'm not giving up on me. Okay. Always look in the mirror and say to yourself, I'm not giving up on me. I always tell people what you're doing is either going to work, it's not going to work, or it's not going to work. But the worst thing you can do is not even try. Okay? That's the worst thing you can do is not try. At least give it a try. At least see what happens. You might be surprised. Also, we want to do the why. Okay? We're going to ask ourselves, why do you feel like giving up? I want you to write these things down. Nobody needs to know. You don't need to have a big discussion with everybody else. But why do you always get to a place in life where you get started and then you abandon ship? Why? When does this happen? When does it happen? Sometimes there are certain times of the year, where seasonal depression and different things happen, or, it may have been a death of a loved one or something tragic happened, but they're trigger moments. And sometimes you could be working on something and it happens to fall around that time of the year. And all of a sudden you just abandon not only that project, but everything that you're doing. So when does this normally happen for you? Because we want to see if it's a pattern. Okay. So why are you doing this? When does it normally happen? What do you need to do? What is it that you feel like you need to do to get out of this space of running, of giving up, of abandoning ship? What is it that you need to do? And how are you going to do it? What steps are you going to take to make sure that as you get ready to go into your next journey or buy that house or you're getting married? Some people run away when they're at the altar, honey. So, it's just so many different scenarios. But what are you going to do, And how are you going to make sure that you're going to put the necessary steps in place to make sure that these things don't happen again? And who are the people that you can call on when you get in those little funky moments? When you get in that running mentality, that running mindset, comes up on you. Who are the people that you can call and say, you know what? I'm working on X, Y, and Z, but I'm really in a moment where I'm just about to abandon ship. I just can't do this anymore. Y'all, I cannot tell you how many times I've said to a couple of my friends, this radio stuff, I am done. I'm not doing it anymore. And they really have to talk to me, and we go through the who, what, where, why, when. We go through all of those things, and then it brings me right back around to, you know what? No, you're not. You got to keep going on with this. You can't just abandon ship. Are you crazy? So, I really want you to take these tools, everybody, and start practicing, because once you start practicing these tools and you start really putting things into place, it will help you as you go into that next thing, whatever it is that you're going into. Believe me, it's going to help you to conquer that feeling of just abandoning everything because you're overwhelmed and it's too much, or your self-esteem is telling you you can't do this isn't for you, or people might be in your ear. You're going to be able to overcome and conquer all of that. Most importantly, I will end with this, as I always say, therapy is so important. In our community, there's a stigma. People feel like if you say I go to a psychiatrist, they're like, ooh, she's crazy or he's crazy. That's not what it means. But these people have been trained to help you, okay? They've been trained to help you, to evaluate you, to find out why you're feeling the way that you are, why you do the things that you do. I go to therapy every Tuesday. It's not a secret. And I enjoy it, and it has helped me immensely. And then I counsel other people. And so it is so important to make sure that you declutter, okay? Whatever's going on up here that's, all of this clutter that's blocking you from being able to do the things that you're supposed to do. Listen, please make sure you get the help that you need. Again, you can go to your primary care doctor, or if you just want to call a mental health facility, there are so many in the areas that you can call clinics to let them know what you're going through, and they can point you in the right direction. Also, life coaches, spiritual coaches, I'm both of those. I'm certified in both of those areas, and so I'm available as well. But I hope today that you got something out of what I said. I know it's quick. I try not to make these videos too long, but I want to give you enough information to just give you a little bit of tools to put into your toolbox, so when you come across these situations that you're able to say, Dr. J said something about this. Let me look at my toolbox and let me look back and see what she said. So take notes, share the video. You can also save it on your phone, and I appreciate you so much. Today's life coaching session was about giving up before you ever get started. Don't do it. Great things are ahead for you. My name is Dr. Lady J. I'll see you again for the next life coaching session. Take care.